Welcome to this edition of Rising Kashmir Debates. As you all know that the debate on the power crisis, the Indus Water Treaty, the losses to the state of Jammu and Kashmir has been on for quite some time. The Jammu and Kashmir government has also been saying that they are trying to reclaim the power projects which have been with the NHPC, but there has not been any headway forward as of now. Experts say that except for the 12% royalty, we are not getting anything more out of that. And above all, yesterday one of the senior ministers of National Conference and Congress coalition government, Mr. Taj Mahideen, who holds the portfolio of Health and Medical Education Department now, made a startling revelation saying that the NHPC power project, which was inaugurated by Prime Minister himself, is illegal. And that's why this debate and other issues related to this. We have a distinguished panel today in the studio with whom we'll be discussing this scenario and all the issues related to power scenario in Jammu and Kashmir. We have with us the man who kick-started the controversy, Mr. Taj Mahideen. I'll start from him only. He's the Minister for Health and Medical Education Department. He earlier held the portfolio of PHE and irrigation. We also have with us Mr. Shakil Kalandar, who has been actually spearheading the struggle for reclaiming the power projects from NHPC for many years now. We also have with us someone, a distinguished civil engineer, Mr. Iftikhar Drabu, who has been associated with many power projects in one capacity or another capacity like Dulhasti, Kishan Ganga, Udi and other power projects. We'll get an expert opinion from him as well. But I would like to start from Taj Sahab, from you only. I mean, you are a minister in the government. Prime Minister inaugurated the power project and you said that it's illegal.
It is illegal. Last year, October, Prime Minister Manmohan Singh wanted to inaugurate the project. I wrote to him, spoke with PMO. He had to cancel that because under Section 96 of the Water Resources Management Act, they have to have a license. And license is first, the project is scrutinized by the Water Resources Authority and then submitted to the government, and government, only the cabinet is authorized to give the license. They no doubt applied for it about 2 years back, I think in 2011. But they had to complete certain formalities. They never did. Actually, it is the arrogance of the NHPC in all the projects, though the time is completed like Salal. They are contemptuous towards our local laws. They have no respect for the cabinet. They don't agree to anything. And here also, they thought we can start the project without the license. But if they go through the law properly, the project can be stopped.
But Taj Sahab, you are the minister in the cabinet. I mean, is the state government so incompetent and so weak that they cannot actually get their own laws implemented?
I can't comment on this. But when I was the minister, we did, and we have written to them, please complete the formalities. You will not be able to start the project. That was my duty as a minister for
PHE.
For the water resources. You can call it like that because PHE is
something different
from this. So I directed my officers to complete the formality, whatever they had to do. But NHPC deliberately, they had to give the MOU. They have not signed any MOU regarding this with the government of Jammu and Kashmir. They had to have a lease deed. They have not signed the lease deed. And many other formalities. They had to give employment within 5 kilometers. They have not. This is a long list of deceit.
Shakil Sahab, how do you see this? I mean, Prime Minister inaugurating a power project, the minister in government saying it's illegal, but at the same time the government being so weak.
I am pleased to know from Taj Saab that he is taking the same line as the civil society has been taking for years together, I think decades together. We have been telling people that all the power projects being run by NHPC in the state of Jammu and Kashmir are illegal and unconstitutional. You see, one aspect he has explained that they have not obtained license under the Water Usage Act, but I will also add to it that they have not obtained a license for generation of electricity under our J&K Electricity Act also for any of their projects. I mean, by now 7 projects are in operation. And then they are holding the occupation of all these power projects illegally, unconstitutionally, because land has not been transferred to them legally, in a legal way. No lease deed exists anywhere. Another point that I would like to make, I'll come to this debate on it further, but I will tell about these 7 power projects which were handed over to NHPC in the year 2000. There was an agreement between Kumara Mangalam, the then Power Minister, and Dr. Farooq Abdullah, the Chief Minister of State. In that, 7 power projects were handed over to them on board. They said boot, but boot cannot be in J&K. That's another debate, we will come to that also. And then the MOU which was signed, it says that it is transferred to NHPC, I mean including the URI second, all 7 power projects, those are transferred to them for funding, execution and maintenance. And then it says that regarding transferring back to the state, I mean giving it back to the state, because they have transferred it to the state, they said that it will be done on an acceptable methodology. Mutually accepted methodology will be adopted later, and the time period after which these power projects shall have to be returned to the state shall be decided. This has not been done. So in legal terminology, we say that this agreement for all these 7 power projects is incoherent, incoherent. That's the term in the legal methodology. It's incoherent agreement where they are it is immoral on the part of NHPC to work on these projects for that incoherent agreement, which is incomplete as yet, and the legal matters about the land and other things which Taj Saab has pointed out. I take it as dereliction of duty by the state government. Why couldn't they, in these 2000 and 2014, in these 14 years, they couldn't finalize the methodology for transferring back of these projects? I think this can come under the dereliction of duty by the state government.
Yeah, but Taj Saab is not actually, he's not commenting on that. I had asked him the question that
but
why government is so incompetent and weak. I mean,
and second thing, that another point that I would like to make, that once it has been now known to everybody that they are holding the control of all these power projects illegally and unconstitutionally, who is the authority in J&K state to remove this occupation, unauthorized occupation? It is the state government. And if they are not able to do it, then to whom they are answerable and accountable?
Iskar Sab, how do you see it from the outside? I mean, a different perspective.
The thing is that Taj Saab did mention that the inability of the government to enforce its own laws.
That's right.
Now the question is that it's not, even the timing of Taj Saab's statement is surprising, because the project has been generating energy since September 2013. The project was started in 2005. So where was the state government from 2005 to 2014? You're talking of 9 years. Why did it have to come the day Modi inaugurate the project? It has been already generating 240 megawatts of power. The other one is, I agree with Kalandar Saab that it's a dereliction of duty on the part of the state government. But just to point out that the state government, which is government of Jammu and Kashmir, sold or transferred Salal land in 2009 for 53 crores. Stamp duty, which was charged to the consumers.
So Taj sahab,
Well, let me explain. I think I have.
I think
Well,
Taj sahab
on
will-
this one
I
point.
will.
I think Taj sahab has to
let me.
respond.
Let me.
I just want to make this point that they have sold. You see, land cannot be, owned by any non-state subject in state of Jammu and Kashmir.
It can be only on lease.
Article 256 of Indian Constitution allows India, the Union of India, to acquire some land in the state of Jammu and Kashmir, and they have to requisition it to the state government. State government on their expense will do that, but they cannot sublet it. They can sublet it for maintenance, for execution of some projects, for maintenance of those projects, but they can never sublet it on ownership basis.
Taj sahab, I mean,
That is illegal.
Taj
Let me explain
sahab,
this.
Iftikhar sahab has said something very serious. He said that since BJP government is in power, Prime Minister Modi came here, you raised this issue saying that it's illegal. Because you were minister since 2005, the date he has been mentioning.
Let me explain it to you both. This act came into force in 2010. In 2011, they applied for the license, but they had to complete certain formalities as per the act. There had to be a MOU between the state government and it. Since they didn't have the MOU, they didn't produce it. Then about the land, there had to be the clarification. Same is the case, he says that they have purchased the land in Salal. No. They paid for the land, no doubt. State government, the land is transferred from that zamindar, whosoever was, to the state government. State government had to lease it, which was never done. It is in the Khana Malkiyat. It is written, Sarkar Jammu Kashmir. मकबूज है मकबूज है NHPC. This is written. So they are only occupying the land. They are not the owners of the land.
It's one and the same
land.
thing.
No. The land belongs. The land belongs to the state.
Yes.
The project is of the state government. And if you go through the cabinet order, which was in 1975, which was issued, the 50% of the power was to be given to the state. Rest of the 50%, if Government of India sell it, they'll give 50%
Of the profits.
profit to the
State.
And when they complete this time, time has not been mentioned. They say that the term is complete, the term is not given, it will go back to the state after paying the residual value, whatever it is, which came to about 460 crores.
The question here is that Salal, it initially started as a state project. Then 1975, when NHPC was incorporated, it was given to them. Now we are talking of 2009. Why did we have to do it after 35 years? Don't you think even signing of this lease agreement or whatever it is gives them a better control on Salal or any of the projects?
Not at all. Not at all.
Why
Let me
did,
explain
what precipitated this 2009 sale?
Till
Just 1
in
minute.
75,
And one
in
thing.
75,
Yes.
when the cabinet order was issued,
Yes.
Which was missing also.
Then it was missing. Subsequently, it was not in the files. In 75, when it was given, the NHPC was not in existence. It was not there at all. It was formed in 79.
76.
79. 79 it was.
76.
Till then it was the Government of India and the state. The NHPC was not in the picture. It was
Ministry
in
of Power and
1982.
Irrigation.
It was in 1978. 79 it came into existence.
76.
No. NHPC came into existence in 75. But
The project was transferred.
initially, the project was with the Ministry of Power and Irrigation at that point of time.
But I
and
think,
they had a board.
but I think Shakil
Yes.
Sahab, I think
Yes.
Iftikhar Sahab has made a very interesting point in the sense that he says that if NHPC would not have been on the scene, what would have been the scenario? I mean, was the Jammu and Kashmir government capable enough to have power projects? I think it's very important. Then also the question which is being asked is that even if you get the power projects back, Are you in a position to manage them?
No, I think there's an interesting thing. I will not name the person. When the Rangarajan committee was there, a very senior official from the state government went to Dulhasti, saw it, and when he saw the machines, he said, our people cannot handle it. This is off the cuff remark. That is one.
His personal
But I agree, it was a personal opinion, but that's the perception.
So how do you how do you see his?
I'll tell you.
Shrivatsa, one thing, 1947, Mohra, 1905 probably when it was started, till Baglihar was commissioned in 2008. How many megawatts of generation do we have?
We have done.
We have, it's very interesting to note that on JKPDC, they have a project Upper Sindh. There was a breach in canal, which is a small breach, 200 meters. For 5 years, it has not been repaired. And the generation loss is 50 crores. And the loss could have been done with about 3-4 crores. So are we geared to do that? One, is the in-house competence, do we have that? Number one. What prevents us from taking on other projects which are in the execution stage? Tai Sahib knows Sawalkot, which has been there for 15 years. Nothing has been happening on that. We have New Gandarbal, which has been for decades been going on.
Well, let's not move from NHPC.
No.
Let us discuss.
No,
NHPC.
I think it's very important. I think it's very important
I
because there
reply
is.
each and every.
And,
You can.
And secondly,
I am asking Shakil Saab because he's spearheading the struggle for reclaiming the projects from
See,
NHPC.
I tell you
so,
honestly.
but he is giving you an. He is giving you a picture where you are saying that government has failed. I mean,
let me tell you that we were second in the whole of Asia to produce hydroelectricity. In 1905, we had 4 megawatt.
But till date we have only.
No. Let me complete. Let me
till
complete.
date we have only 16%.
But Salal was conceived in 1920, right? And then 1961 onwards, this DPR was prepared, and ultimately it was given to Union Ministry of Power and this what you call irrigation in 1970, and it took them 20 years for phase 1, 17 years for phase 1, and then 8 more years for phase 2 to complete. Dulhasti has been completed by them in 22 years. Uri is the only success story because that was given to that Swedish Uri Civil, but that was also delayed by 18 months. But compared to this, we had initiated our Bhagliar. Despite all hurdles, financial constraints, everything, we could install that project in a time-bound manner. Second phase is coming next year, and we will surpass the profitability of J&K Bank with one power project. And tell me, what has NHPC done for J&K state? They are using our waters for their own benefits. NHPC has not done any good for us. NHPC may be in high esteem with Iftikhar Saab or others, but it is a story of deceit. It is a story of broken promises. It is a story of exploitation in J&K state.
Can I respond?
Yeah,
to
sure,
this?
sure.
I think whatever NHPC is doing, they are doing it across all other states, whether it's Uttaranchal, whether it's Sikkim, whether it's Himachal, they are having the same policy, number one. Number two, you are talking about Baglihar. Okay, Baglihar is a good story, but I don't know whether you realize that Baglihar was supposed to be completed in 4 years. It took 8 years.
But we didn't have money. Government of India didn't guarantee our funding from international banking consortium.
Let me tell you.
It's another story.
Very interestingly, Baglihar was awarded at 12.6 crores per megawatt. That's for financial cost, and completion cost. While the general trend in 2000 was 6 to 6.5.
Iftikhar Saab, that is my project.
Yes.
Whether it was completed in 8 years, 4
No,
years, or 10 years,
costing.
but that is my project.
So
And
he's
whatever
saying-
NHPC has produced, they are taking it out, and that is unacceptable to the people of
less than
Jammu and Kashmir.
what NHPC
Yes,
is doing.
I'm
Which one?
telling you, 22 years, 17 years, 25 years.
He's
No,
saying
I'll tell you,
cost-wise. He's
Shakil
saying
Saab, I'll tell
cost-wise.
you, I was involved in Dulhasti from the beginning till it was closed. Let me tell you, there was a huge technical problem which could not be done. Okay, that's one. Uri, I was involved. I was doing the planning of the whole project, so I know what exactly happened. I'm in Kishanganga. Incidentally, if NHPC is so bad, why there are two instances which I would want. Why Chenab Valley was started with NHPC?
Very bad. Yes, we have resisted that. And we are resisting that today only.
Today, everybody who is running that corporation is from NHPC 1. If they are so bad, why are you using them for opening a Kangan? In Kangan, you have this Institute for Hydropower. Why are you using
I
them?
represent
We are
civil
not-
society
because we are
here,
only-
and
it is
civil
only
society
on
is
paper.
all out against joint venture with NHPC. Any deal with NHPC, unless it is it is profitable to the interests
But
of
again-
state.
But I'll again go to Tai Sahab. Tai Sahab, I mean, you have been minister for 12 years now, and the same government. And why state government is so incompetent
In what?
in actually taking on NHPC?
Maybe some pressures from the.
I mean, your government was you
Central
had
government,
Congress. You had Congress government in Delhi for 10 years.
Yes, I know, I understand, I know the pressure which was put on the government when we wanted these projects back. Cabinet has approved that we should take back these projects. And there are some legal hitches are there. I think they will clarify that, and it takes time. I don't know why should it take so much time. The committee was formed in which Advocate General is there, Law Secretary is there, and the Power Secretary is there. They had to give a report. That report has not come. And they have to give us the modus operandi how to operate that, take back. We can go to whether we should approach the Supreme Court or we should go to the High Court or ask them amicably to return the projects.
Would you serve a legal notice to them?
Why not? After this is complete, once we get the report, the legal status of it, we have to take action.
When has this committee been formed?
This has been formed, unfortunately, about 3 years back.
See, and they have not done anything
2
so
years,
far.
2.5 years.
And they have not done anything
They
so
have
far.
not submitted the report to the cabinet yet.
And as far as this project is concerned, yesterday's project, would you consider sending a legal notice to NHPC?
There is no legal notice, it is very simple. The chief engineer or the authority, they have to write to the district magistrate.
Okay.
He can stop the project.
You
It
can
is
stop.
very easy.
So
Yes.
you would come.
The procedure is given in the law.
So you would move towards that.
I can't say because the power ministry is not with me. I can't comment on behalf of the government here. But I'll take this issue to the cabinet.
Okay.
Just one point.
Yeah.
Presuming, I mean, for just argument's sake, if we get all NHPC projects back, do we realize what scenario we would have with regard to what this power availability, particularly in Kashmir Valley in winter? The generation of the power projects drops to about 1/5 during winter.
Okay.
And the power, which is just for the audience who might not be aware of it, we are working on a Gadgil formula, which means that any project which is done in Rajasthan by the central aid, central government sponsored, Rajasthan, Himachal, Haryana, Punjab, Uttaranchal, we get a share out of it. There are projects which are run by central government in Uttaranchal, so we are getting a share. If we take back all our projects, so we will lose that share, which is on the hydro side as well as on the thermal side, which eventually would mean that we will be left with about 2000 megawatts of NHPC power, 2700 megawatts of our own state power, which is just about the peak demand that we require, 600. But in winter, this will demand to about 500. And that will be available only for 2-3 hours in the evenings.
Shakil sir.
You see,
No,
I would,
yeah, sure.
Let me reply that. You must have not heard about the Muller embankment project which is going on. More than 60% is complete. After that, you will have 70% generation in all the 3 projects. That is Lower Jhelum,
Uri 1, Uri 2.
Uri 1, Uri 2. It will be 70% of the generation will be there. So that case is not there. That is under construction, I think by next year.
No, I think what we need to realize is that we are talking of a winter period
I
which
would,
is 3
I would like
months.
to react like this.
Yes.
How much storage will you have?
You see,
Exactly the
you see,
same
I would
what
like
you
to.
need.
I would like to say that you see, we have a potential of generating 20,000 megawatts officially, but as per our assessment, it goes beyond 30,000 megawatts.
But we have harnessed
You
only
see,
60%.
but at this point of time, we need 2,600 megawatts for our own domestic consumptions. Had we been ahead of generating power projects, like we have now Bhagliar, it's 900, and we have also some of the projects 500. We will be in the state sector next year, it will be around 1,500 megawatts. And by that time, the demand will also increase. But at this point of time, if Salar, Dulhasti and Uri first is returned back to the state, it comes to around 2,440 megawatts in the state sector. We will be. will be very close to our demands. So we are purchasing power from the same NHPC or Northern
He's
Grid
saying that
for
even if-
4,000 crores.
But
he
he's
says
saying-
that we had a share, we have share from other power projects. We don't need
No,
that.
no, but he's saying that
it
even
come-
if you get the power project back in winters, you'll face the same
that
thing.
is
You-
my
you-
point.
you-
But
you-
we will be purchasing that
you-
time.
you will have to- you
we
have-
are,
you have-
we
you
are
have to
otherwise
purchase.
purchasing for
We
4,000
are-
crores a
you are
year.
right.
We are purchasing for 4,000 crores a year.
This is strange.
What
They tell
are-
us that you will not know, you don't know how to run the projects. This was exactly the case in Bangalore. But now we are running it. It is a modern project. It is the same project like Dulas
Yes.
or Uri 1, but we are running it. Our engineers are trained to run
Let
it.
me tell you
So
that
that
our
is
own
strange.
boys from
this
Jammu and
is
Kashmir.
the argument. This
are-
is the argument what power minister
Yes,
gave.
they had at that point
That
of time.
time they said
They
that
said
you will
nobody
not
could
know.
harness power
Well,
except
it is my
NHPC.
baby. I know how to run it.
No, I don't think we are talking
Another point that I want to
Any
make,
project
Iftikhar
for
Sahab,
that
another
reason.
point that I would like to make is that suppose we don't have money, we don't have capacities to generate power. Let us open it for entrepreneurs.
We have already done
We
it.
have done it in the Ratle power project.
Ratle.
They are giving
It
us
is the best.
16% free power. They are giving us 50 first right of purchase on 55% of the remaining power at 1 rupees 44 paisa
That's
per
per
unit
unit.
static rate, and the project is likely
Do
to
you
be
think it was
returned
only
after
NHPC?
35 years. We have to pay 240 crores at terminal cost. That's nothing in power projects. And let us
Incidentally, Shakil Sahab,
replicate
I was-
those agreements.
I was very
if
closely
we are
involved-
so incompetent,
In what?
I don't see we are, our
I was very
engineers are
closely
incompetent.
involved with Ratle from GVK side. I know the story. Let us see how Ratle goes.
It will
It is
go
okay.
very well.
It kick-started now. It is.
Tai Sahab,
Our all good
Tai
wishes
Sahab-
are with Ratle, with
see,
GVK.
I think the debate, we are talking of 60 months of construction period, 21 months of period for prepare of DPR for Ratle, right? We are already 4 years into it. Hardly anything has started except a bridge on Ratle. So it's going to be a while before Ratle
They have
finishes.
completed the DPR.
Yeah, I know.
They will be, yes,
No, I know they have completed the
the
DPR. They have just got the
and
financial
they are
project.
starting the work.
We are
It's all
already,
work.
They will
we are
do it.
already 4.
They will do it.
We are okay. We will are already 4
GVK
years.
is not a
It is
small
better
group.
than NHPC.
Reliance is not a small group. Tata Power is not a small group.
Shakil-
There are many
Shakil
groups
Sahab,
other than
it's-
NHPC that we have in the market.
And we have the money now.
No,
From the water
And we have the
resources,
money, we can generate of our own. We
We
don't
can
have any
generate.
problem.
The point here is
Let
that
me explain where from the money comes. We are getting about 1,000 crores per year from the water usage charges, which is going
But
into
you
a
have
fund.
not. But
This is, it is going into a fund.
But,
and we
but
have
Tai
already.
Sahab, you couldn't get it from the NHPC as you promised us last time.
It is. We are getting regularly.
But it
access
was
to
not.
this
But,
project.
but it was not reflected in the budget.
It
last
was
time.
reflected in the budget. It was also in the speech of
Finance Minister?
Chief Minister.
Even
1700.
even
and
if
Shujat Sahab,
even if
At
Shujat
this
Sahab,
moment,
even
you
if
have
we shall have to
2,000
borrow.
crores.
No, even
Let
if-
me be on record here. 2,000 crores is in a special fund which has been created by law. This all money goes into the fund and it can be used only for the transmission lines and generation.
Let me tell you another thing. Suppose we have to borrow all the money for a particular power project.
You
The
have to
recovery
have the
period
margin
is in
money.
5 years. Let us take this Uri second. The total cost on this is 1700 crores. And do you know how much it will generate monetarily? It will generate, it is a 240 megawatt at roughly 3 crores per megawatt per annum is the return. That is, it will generate 700 crores per annum. The recovery of principal will be in 3 years, recovery of interest will be in 4th year. So in 4 years, they will recover the whole cost. 5th year onwards, it's yours. That is what government of Jammu and Kashmir should do. Let us leave these NHPCs and others alone. Let us harness power potential ourselves.
Let us hope that, because we don't have much time now to discuss it. Actually, let us hope that on this optimism that we move forward, and Tai Sahab is saying that we have 2,000 crores and we can spend
Yes.
them. And you are saying that we have.
Even if we don't have a penny.
No, you are saying that you have the capacity to run the power projects, though
Yes.
Iftikhar Sahab has a different view.
no,
Today we have a success
no,
story.
no, no.
Bagliar is a success story.
But let's hope that we continue with
We
that.
had borrowed around
But
3,000 crores for Bagliar first.
but
But by
question-
now only 1,300 is left
But
out.
question is that the government doesn't have the capacity and competence to take on them. That's very
They
important.
don't have the confidence.
They don't have the confidence.
And they don't have the accountability
They-
from civil society. People don't ask them why they are not doing it. It is a dereliction of duty.
Shakil sir,
by them.
that's why you are there. I think we have actually tried to, kickstart a debate on the subject. It's a very interesting subject and it's a very controversial subject at the same time. Rangarajan committee has said that NHPC has been unfair to the state of Jammu and Kashmir. But only problem which I find right now is that the Jammu and Kashmir government doesn't have the confidence, as Shakil Kalandar rightly said, to take on the NHPC to get the power projects back. And it will be very interesting to actually watch that how the state government will now move on, as one of its senior ministers has said that the NHPC phase 2nd in Udi is illegal. Today we have this much of time for this debate. Next time we'll meet you again. Thank you. Bye-bye.